Oh, there we go.
I am so sorry that we're late, you guys. I really feel bad. I don't like being this late. Thank you for waiting for us.
My fault, by the way, completely. I apologize.
I'm really sorry. But
I was outside in the rain and didn't realize that I wasn't wearing a watch on account of the rain. I apologize. Needed to freshen up? Yes, Stasia. Unfortunately, not for any fun reason. Go ahead. Sorry.
well, I brought a little one so that everybody could notice that. Put your clothes on. Clothes have been on. How is everyone? We haven't done a show on Colton Crims for a minute. So I want to apologize too because last night I said we were going to do a show. And I don't know how many of you follow us on Facebook, in the Facebook group. We went to Rock City yesterday and it was so much fun. But holy crap, it really wore me out. It's not as much walking as you would think. It's only like an hour of walking, but the heat, whoa, it was too hot. I just couldn't do it. So then last night, I know I promised everybody we were going to do a live and hey Tony's Hooter and hey up in the north and we didn't. And anyway, you know that. I'm sorry because I was too tired. I was way too tired. It just wore me out. But it was a lot of fun. Hey Tammy, Kestrel made it. Sarah Bowman, Aria. Thank you, Aria. Otter Dancer, Joanne Ventrilla, Gemini Girl, Shelly, Catherine B. Helena's even here. I'm always shocked at people in Australia. You seem to be awake at all hours.
Carrie B
Kiki and Two Cats.
has not been in Rock City since she was 8, yo.
It's a fun place to go. How many of you guys have been to Rock City? It's really fun. Hey, Brooke Elliott, Karma Chameleon, Lisa Kelson. Lisa, I'm glad that we did a show for you tonight. West Coast Fancy Nancy, Caroline in Canada, Heather, Kansas, Chris Cat. That's a fun name.
Yes, it is.
Rain Virus, you're worn out.
Armine,
Armine.
how kind.
Layla Bradley, I'm so happy to see you and I'm glad you're okay. Hey, Leslie Girl, Dee Dee Razzle Dazzle, Paula Pendley.
I'm using the pen. See what I did?
What'd you do to yourself?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
he's a blood blister. Here.
Not anymore. And then there
V.
was none.
McWilliams, Trisha Briggs, Kristen Melinda, Little Bubble, Bridget Jump, Purple Groovy. Thank you, Purple Groovy.
Good to see you.
Oh, I love that Liz Tricks made it. Hey, Sophia. Stacia made it. Shauna B. Hope Between the Dreams. TKK. Muffet Lou. Jeannie Hansen. Vic Blair. Hey, Amy Dag. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. We actually had a great weekend. He's going to be going home soon. Hey, Mindy, Melissa. And so we wanted to squeeze some stuff in for the holiday weekend and Huxley's off school. So we went to Rock City. That was really fun. Miss Sunrise Dawn, Reese, I told Tommy I had a bone to pick with y'all for being so close to me without telling me. Oh, sorry, babe. I'm sorry. It was a quick trip and we didn't really plan to meet with people.
Yeah, I talked about it last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It
really was on me.
But we do want to do, like, I wouldn't mind going to Chattanooga again. That's a fun place to go. I still want to do the Nashville meetup. I still want to do a Memphis meetup too. So we still plan to do that. Hey, Diane, DS Kitty.
And Stacia has been to Detroit Rock City. Get up. Everybody gonna move your feet. Get down. Everybody's gonna kiss. I meant the band, but sorry. Lean in there anyway.
Tommy is going home. He is. He is a home, guys. Thank you, Kristen Melinda. I love these rings. I think they're really special.
She gets a lot of comments on them. Every time she wears them out, someone says something. Have you ever noticed?
Yeah, I love big rings.
Honestly, every time we go out, without fail. Anytime you wear one of those, our Waitron said it the other night.
That and everybody always wants to know if these are real.
Get that a lot too.
Yeah.
Hey, is your rack real? You'd be shocked how many times.
Well, they sit up pretty high.
No, I know.
They're just very full.
Yeah. Cleavagey.
Yeah. Lots. Cleavagey. Yeah. Very full. I've been blessed with that.
Yeah. They hang out, to be sure.
People always want to stop and
but
ask.
Aren't you his home?
If they're real. Well, Tommy has 2 homes. And guys, his family is in Arizona. And I don't want to get selfish about it. He has stuff he has to do when he goes home. And that's okay. We talk on the phone. We still stream. Hey, Alana made it.
And if you have a spare bedroom at your place in the Hamptons, I'm looking for a third location. That I want to spread out a little bit.
Do you?
Yeah, for both of us. I need so we're just looking for, a couple of like bed and breakfast kind of hookups that we can just.
Do we have anybody from the
glom.
Hamptons?
What's
Do we have people that watch us from the Hamptons?
Grift. There's the word I was looking for. Grift.
I didn't think about that. No one's ever said hi from the Hamptons.
Kiki, I like it. Kiki says, my real name is Christina and I go by Chris. Kiki is what my niece calls me.
Aw, thank you for starting off the grift train. As you know, there's so many people out there that say we are grifters. So
yes.
Thank you. We love you, Diane.
The name of the game, boys. We call it riding the grifting train. It looks bad, doesn't it? I didn't realize just how big it was. Sorry, people.
How does that happen?
Well, I was working on the motorcycle, and I was working on the clutch cable, and it did one of those numbers on my finger. It's kind of a bummer. Yeah,
that's never happened to me, but
well, you have time. Drayton, good to see you. Jeanette Rexford, back among the thinking. I've not got there myself.
So, Rain, we went to the farmer's market today. That's not so. The lady that we bought the bread from last week, I think, felt sorry for us because she's so cute. And I said, our poodle ate all the bread and she was sold out of all sourdough today. She was out.
And of course, in her head, she thinks poodle.
The only thing she had left was like some weird looking little loaves. Something called a Jamaican loaf and then some caramel loaf. She gave them to us. It was kind of sad, but we did buy some more jars of her jam. And she was like, I'm going to throw these in. It's because she only had a couple left and she was sold out of everything. Now that was really nice of her. And, but I really wanted more of the bread. I wanted to get some of that sourdough and I'm sad about it. So I'm going to go back next Saturday with Huxley. He won't be in town, but I'm going to go back and get more bread. Baby steps. That's so nice of you. Thank you for the hot sauce packets.
How about that? Hey, that's what she said. You don't get those jokes very often.
I never really understood them.
No?
My fingers slip. I want to say thank you for helping me out this week. These two people are amazing and truly hearted. Indigo Twin, I appreciate that, babe, but I hope that you were able to get the help you needed. I know that you had a pretty big bill and we wanted to help as much as we could. So I hope other people helped you as well, girl. But thank you for that. You didn't have to super chat us. Thank you.
She pinched her boob. Do you see Jobo Baggins? Jobo Baggins says, I had a friend in college who played the cymbals in the marching band. She pinched her boob in the cymbals and got a huge blood blister. That was like a third boob. Oh my goodness. Jobo, how much crap did she take?
Jobo, I could have gone my whole life and not needed to know that story. But now that I know it, I feel frightened and insecure.
You're better for knowing the story, though.
Hi, Shannon C.
Does everybody see Moosey back there?
Moosey.
He's being a good boy. Well, he's not, but he could be. Maybe in a few
Moose
years.
is really frustrating. He's a child.
He's a kid. He's in the terrible twos.
He sure is.
Boy, is he in the terrible twos. Honestly.
Yeah. Not all of us are cat people like you are.
I know. I'm going to take him with me.
Cat whisperers.
I probably am going to have to take him with me. He's kind of a jerk. He's. I know you do, Kiki. Everybody wants Moose. Here's the thing. I would never, ever. Sorry, it's going to sound.
Hockeytown John. Yes.
It's going to sound awful, but.
Hey, Teresa.
Hey, Teresa. Good to see you. I could never part with him. I couldn't. So Squirrel will love him. They'll be girlfriend and boyfriend. I think that they'll.
Hi, Laura Dupree, Miradira. I don't like guys. Kid is my cat, right? And I love kids so much, and she means everything to me. He jumps at her a lot and scares her, and she can't stand him. And so I never see her anymore. Like she's always hiding somewhere up high. She doesn't just lay around anymore on the floor and relax. And the other thing I don't like is she's gaining a ton more weight because
how?
She's eating all the food because she doesn't want to give him any food. So
yeah, it's an attitude then.
I don't like Moose for those reasons. Like I don't like him attacking her. And I really, she's stressed out. And I don't like that because Kid is
a great animal.
The best cat I've ever had. And she's super chill and she puts up with a lot.
I can explain. It's not what you think.
It's Gloria. She's making a little nest under the desk. Have you been to Lily's International Market in Tucson?
I don't think so. Are you trying to get me to buy something awful? Well, every time somebody says International Market, man, there's some dirty fish or something.
Well, that's the place to do it because you can't be smelling here.
Listen, before anybody bums out about poor sweet Kid, because I know everybody's Kid jumps down and sleeps with me every night. That if I'm laying in bed, she understands the game of how not to deal with the little guy, and her first line of defense is to jump on top of me and hang out with me during sleep time. So she still chills out and gets a lot of love, and she's happy. She's a very vocal kitty. So when the two of them, even if they're playing, it sounds like World War III. The cat doesn't have any markings or anything else on her, but she makes it when you picked her up today. When I picked her up today. And some of it may be too because she's just really
stressed though. Like she's stressed out. And the reason I know that is because every time, the whole time I've had that cat, you can find her like this on the carpet anywhere or on a rug on the ground.
She'll run in front of you and
she doesn't do that anymore.
And dive on the ground.
Yeah, she doesn't do that anymore.
She certainly does
will not lay around.
Less.
Yeah, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, I think I should get him out of here. And I can. I just got to put him on the plane and take him.
Well, thank you for becoming a member, Dee Dee Razzle Dazzle. That's so kind.
It's a beautiful cat you have there, too. I love kitties.
I wonder how that would go, too.
You know something? Here's the thing. I wouldn't walk in and go, hey, check it out. You got a brother. I would introduce Moose into the environment over a period of time. So same kind of thing. It'd be on the other side of a door so that she could sniff him. But keep in mind, she's a 3-year-old kitty that's never seen another kitty since she left. No, I'm talking about my cat, Squirrel Nut Zipper.
Oh, yeah.
Squirrel has not lived with a kitty ever. So I think it would be interesting. And she's an athlete. If that cat wants to go after Squirrel will square up and the two of them will have fun and they'll figure it out. And I will train the two of them so that they can, I can work with them to get along. Here, that's more difficult because if I make a sound, this one, who shall remain nameless, he's long-legged, curly hair, eats loaves of bread. But it's hard to work with any animal to do anything because her Hockey Town John, I love you. I really do.
Yes, he does. We love you, Hockey Town John. You're so cute in that picture.
Miradeer, you're correct. It really is. It's a process that takes I don't know. It's a lot of luck, right? But if you do it right, and we did it right here, really did. It's just that he's a kitten.
Do you think that they just still haven't had enough time together? I don't know. I really hate watching my cat have to.
I understand completely.
Readjust. Ow.
Truly, there are some things that we could do, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I don't think you would want to do them. I think you'd be happy to, if I were here, because I do that. You know what I mean? I kind of am the cat dude here, and it would require.
Hey, Jam, thank you. Yeah, I mean, how long have they been together though?
About a month. Yeah. Well, not much over that.
More than that.
Not much.
Well, it was when we got here that you.
But not the first week I got here. So we had him about 2.5 weeks that I was here. And then
he's been here
for 2 months. 2 months.
He's been here 8 weeks. And maybe that's not enough time. Thank you, Nico.
Do you know what? I don't think you know how beautiful Reese looked at it. I have a picture of Reese. Oh, they probably saw it. Huh? Isn't it your new? Did you make it your new? Has everyone else seen the picture? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The one that you said I look young in?
Really young.
Really?
You're right, Kathy Ann. Squirrel nut zipper would need a ton of attention. Here's the really good thing.
Oh, that one?
Yes.
Are you guys weirded out by my hair? I feel like it looks like a wig.
Tell them the truth, because it's going to be on Reddit tomorrow anyway. It's a wig.
Oh, tell them it's a wig.
Yeah, it's a wig. They're gonna
Let me
put
just
it
adjust this thing.
Well done.
Mrs. Ivy, I love that you made it. You're excellent with animals.
Squirrel nut zipper would need the most attention. That's all. Yeah.
The little furry diva love. I love you, Kathy Ann. Thank you, babe.
Too. And you know what? You're right.
Up in the north, thank you for becoming a member.
She's a diva, and there would be some issues, right? There'd be some issues, but she could take it, and she's an athlete. She can jump from the floor to my shoulder.
Thank you, guys. That was really nice of everybody saying I looked really good today.
And young.
Young.
Not that there's anything.
Young. How weird.
You were looking very late 20, mid to late 20-ish.
That's bizarre. I wonder why.
I don't know, but I think you need to keep doing it.
I
just
don't know
as a thought, just as a thought.
I'm not sure what I don't know what I did. It can take up to a year for cats to really settle in. Kid moved in. Yeah. So Michelle, I agree with this. This is why I'm not entirely sold on getting rid of him to Arizona, because, for instance, when I got Bo, it took about 9 months for Gertie to adjust.
Oh.
And I remember thinking the first month, second month, third month, like all the way up to 6 months, I was like, maybe this isn't going to work. Maybe I need to rehome him. But I felt terrible about that because he was so He's no animal in the world.
He's
very attached to me.
To her, not to anyone else.
I'm not as attached to him, oddly enough. I love Bo, but I'm not.
You have been more recently.
I have. I'm very grateful for Bo. Like, I love him and I appreciate him on a very deep level, but I don't connect with him like I do Gertie for some reason.
You know what, though? I think there's a life lesson here, too. I really do. Because here's what's happened.
Thank you, Paula Penley.
If you've been, hey, Leslie, if you've been paying attention, here's what's been happening. What are you laughing at?
They're going to go on Reddit and say that Tommy is a creepy pedo.
Yes. There you go. Hook it up. Kitty pedo. They like the hat, too. So,
that's sweet, Hockey Town.
We were really struggling with Bo. Bo he acts like a rambunctious kid. He eats things he's not supposed to. He knocks stuff off counters. His size is a problem, but that's not his fault.
It isn't his fault. There's no real good reason to rehome a dog or an animal to me, unless it's really destructive to the other animal. And I always said that about Bo. I'll pretty much put up with anything with him, unless he were to attack Gertie. Then I was like, that will be my breaking point. If he bit Gertie, if he did something, I'd get rid of him. If he bit Huxley, I'd get rid of him.
Right.
But he's such a good dog. He's just a big dog.
But in the last 2 weeks, you have been going out with him and putting.
I walk him every night. I've been walking every single night with him, about 30 minutes a night.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time and a lot of and a lot of dedication. And some nights it's hotter than the hinges to hell.
Yep.
But you've been going up and doing it every night. And normally I go with her, depending on what's going on here. But normally I go with her.
It's done so nice. Thank you, babe. It has done wonders.
He's a different dog.
He's a different dog, guys. He is a different dog. And that was my fault. Dogs, especially, I'll probably not get a dog his size again.
Thank God.
Because they are so much work. I appreciate big dogs and I think they're beautiful, but they're so much work. They make big messes.
In the middle of the road?
Yeah, he does. But I have to say, I really appreciate Bo, but he is Gertie is so easy. I had a Chihuahua, so easy. I don't think I've ever had a dog as big as Bo.
Neither.
And you have to understand though, that's on you. If they're not very well trained, if they're not very good, it's not his fault that he does what he does. It's my fault.
Yeah.
I don't work with him. So since I've been walking him every night, which is also good for me. I feel like I'm a little bit skinnier, maybe.
No question.
Thank you, Shannon C.
And being a little skinnier has made you look several years younger.
Really?
See what I did there on that several? Because you can't get that one right, man. If you throw a number out, you're going to screw up. You're going to be like, what? I didn't.
You could say considerably younger.
You did look considerably younger.
Considerably is not even putting a number on it. If you just said you look considerably younger, actually, that's who Iwa. It's Iwa's birthday. I love Iwa. Happy birthday!
Nice.
That was yesterday. Nice, babe.
Hope between the dreams. If you could watch Bo, he goes out and runs, right?
He does make me feel safe. He is an incredible watchdog. That dog hears everything.
He does, and makes a lot of noise when he hears anything. Here's the funny thing.
LPB, I'm glad you made it.
He can run at speeds you would not believe.
Yeah.
With zero effort.
His legs are so long. He has the longest legs on a dog that I've ever seen.
No, and they're so strange. The way he just goes like this and flies like greyhound fast.
He's so tall. I've said this, that his head, it goes over the kitchen counters just fine. Yeah. He
Well, the other day he put his
he stood up on you. He's taller than you when he stands.
Way taller than me.
Way taller than you. And he's like a bear when he stands up. Just looked up from painting, looking hot. Helena, I love you, girl. I love her. Thank you for your super chat, guys. Hey, Sin K.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're dealing with pain. That sucks. Thoughts and prayers with you. Big dogs, big poops, or close neighbors.
Sin K, if I think I know what's going on, I don't want to share that though, unless you do. So I just want to say I'm sorry.
Hey, Brittany Van Brackle.
I love Brittany. Yeah, I think your animals have been through a lot. She makes a good point. And you too. Between tension at the Casey house and a move and change in environment. Absolutely. And I was thinking that for Bo, he has finally chilled out.
I think it has a lot to do with exercise.
And we've been here. I've lived here a little over 2 months now. I think she's right though, the move. Uh-huh. But Trisha, thank you. It's a dress.
Love it.
He does have like Great Dane legs, Lisa Kelson. I don't know
huge.
What. He's a really, really big dog. You guys I always wonder, do you think he would be a good swimmer? I know poodles, he is so webbed. He barely, the webbing is crazy between his, oh yeah, you can, Kestrel. My friend's Irish Wolfhound died yesterday. Oh my God. Irish Wolfhounds are amazing. They don't live very long though, Layla, because of that. Because of their size. I'm sorry.
Hunter.
I would love to see if he would swim. Do you guys think he would swim? He's so scared of
everything
in the environment.
Everything.
I just wonder if he would swim, if we could find a pond or.
I think once you got him in, he'd be into it. But I think with Bo, it would be hard to get him to be willing to go in. It's absolutely amazing. The things. Tell him, what's he afraid of?
Wind.
Butterflies.
Yeah.
He's terrified of butterflies. He's a 110, 120 pound dog who's afraid of butterflies. He's 7 feet tall and can dunk a basketball.
He's special. He's a special child.
He's such a sweetheart.
He's our special boy.
He's a good boy.
Does this have a hole in it?
It can't. I just got it.
It does. Look.
I blame you.
I don't know how to sew. That's going to be a problem.
Oh, I know how to sew. Oh, cool. It's right on the scene.
Tina Starlin, I hope you feel better, babe.
Nah, I did that in prison. I got this. No trip. I can knock that out.
I'm not going in the water with him, so that's not going to happen. But we would throw a stick in for him and see if he would go in.
I would go in with him.
Yeah, I agree with Mara. The working breed dogs need a job. Absolutely. And I believe that's why he's doing so much better. Because he's blowing off all that energy,
And he is.
Uh-huh. And so what I do is, guys, he doesn't have to be on a leash. I take him to my parents' farm every night and I just let him go and he runs. Now he doesn't get out of my sight. Bo is weird about that. Like Tommy said, he keeps me very close by. April Goodson, I'm so glad you made it, girl. Dog puzzles to my wish list. He eats out of a puzzle bowl. That's how he eats his dinner. But I also bought one of those long time ago. I should try. Well, it's probably packed somewhere. It's a rubber mat thing that you can put like peanut butter or yogurt on, and it takes him a while to lick it off.
Didn't know. Never saw it. Are you sure we packed it?
Oh yeah.
Because I kind of feel like.
Oh no, we're not unpacked.
We have a kiddie pool.
We do have a kiddie pool. I got one at TJ Maxx.
We've been talking
last
about
summer for like $10. It's a dog kiddie. We should do that for him.
And I have the hose out because I washed the bike down. I could,
Perfect.
I could do that.
I would, Amy Edge. Yeah, it would have to be a really shallow, just a little pond. I'm totally with you on that. Susie with an S, thank you for becoming a member.
You know what's crazy is if we could get a key to the gate.
Oh my God, Shelly, you're so right. Thank God Bo can piss on whatever he wants now. Remember my horrible neighbor? She probably still watches.
Yeah. And she was a lovely woman.
That woman was horrible.
Nice woman. She was all right. She was just working through a tough time with the bitchness and all that.
With her rude behavior.
God, with all the bitchness.
She was a terrible person. She really was. I thought about her the other day and I thought, God, I'm glad I'm away from that. She was really horrible. Hey, Lucia.
It's raining here too, Debbie Palm.
Dealing with stuff. Understood. I'm glad that you made it though.
Well, thank you for coming and lurking with us though. Hey, Sarah Broward.
Hey, Adam Wood. So, Sarah Browett's here. I love her.
Julie Stevenson.
The piss lady.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, look. Where'd she say it? Yeah. The piss lady. Oh my God. Do you guys remember when she was so nice to me?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about the woman. I just mentioned her name and you're like, oh, the piss lady. I just said someone's name in the chat.
No, remember that
I'm
neighbor?
Like, damn, it's a terrible thing to call
super nice to me. And then
the dog peed.
And she flipped out and cussed at me and went nuts. Dee Dee Razzle Dazzle. My husband saw a gorgeous 5 foot tall lady walking two white tigers.
Really?
That makes me a little sad.
I feel like you gotta put your move on if you see a woman walking 2 tigers across the street. That's not
cool. I don't like when people have wild animal. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I've always wanted a lion. I'd love to have a jackal. I think it would be neat to definitely have just a regular tiger, but a bear. But the thing is, I'd want to let them be themselves. Do you know that like when people you can't domesticate those. It's not appropriate.
Well, I wouldn't have to.
If you could though, I'd be the first to have one. Jobo, is it your mom's birthday? Did I just see that? Her 81st birthday?
Wow, how cool.
Where?
I don't know.
Aw. Liking the photos and love your dress and your cute pictures with your boy and boyfriend. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks. That's a nice thing to say.
Her mom's 81st birthday. Happy birthday to your mom.
You know what? It was hot here today too.
Edge.
You know what? It's raining here.
Hi, Pat Kimbrell.
I'm sorry, I was reading something. Hey, Tiff 420.
I don't go to zoos, Kestrel. I can't handle it. I can't handle it. I know people like going to the zoo. I will never, you guys know I get real weird about circuses. I would never, ever go to a circus.
So true.
I'm going to say on Reddit that Reese called someone in the chat a piss lady. That's a good one.
Because she didn't give us a super chat.
Honestly, go over there and give something new. You got to go give something new. They say the same old stuff.
But don't just say it. Say that it happened because the woman didn't give a super chat, or maybe it was too small. Or something.
Make up a pretty big story. Make a bad story.
Go the extra mile if you got to take the time. Look, it seems to be.
I would never. Gross.
You would think it would stop at some point, wouldn't you?
I would never go to SeaWorld. No. I would never go to a circus. I just don't. I won't support that. I can't believe that, honestly, people still take wild animals and beat them into submission for our entertainment.
I don't mind the circuses that don't have animals.
Hey, Sandy Wandy.
Like the modern one, Cirque du Soleil is fun. Stuff that just uses humans.
Hey, Just As I Am. Well, for human, that's what I mean.
Because I don't care if they're beating on humans or training humans or whatever, but that's what Cirque du Soleil is. If you've ever seen that, amazing.
They beat them into going on trapeze wires.
Yeah, and such. Humans.
Do they really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they beat them.
They don't give them a choice. They just like cattle prod them.
Well, if you prefer it, I don't know how they train them. I feel like they spend a lot of time.
I always thought that it was because they wanted to be. Animals don't have a voice. And I can tell you right now that
squirrel does.
Elephants don't want to ride tiny bicycles, and that's not a thing. Hey, dog, and
Vic Campbell.
I hope that anyone who forces wild animals or any animals to do things they don't want to do, I hope the forces of evil make their way to their front door.
Voices of evil in a bozo nightmare.
Just woke up. That's okay,
Wow.
Lydia. I get it, girl. I get it.
If you knew how often I hear the word Lydia each day, because our doggie gets called a lot of different names, but one is Lydia, and she gets called that often.
I love you too, Susan.
She's a very cute dog, by the way.
Love you, Alana. That's amazing. Sharon Dixon's son is a stuntman, and he spent 2 years in circus school.
Oh, wow.
See, that's cool. And see, he got paid. He went to school. You know, animals don't get a choice or a voice on that stuff. And so I hate anybody who does that to an animal. I love that. Thank you for that, Patricia Briggs, Hockeytown John. Bo Beats, I love that you made it. The cheese is slipping off the crackers in that Reddit place. It's a weird place. You know, I haven't gone in a couple of days.
It's a great expression.
I'm going to not go there anymore. I went there 3 times, and
funny face.
People think that I'm obsessed with it. And by the 3rd time, I did feel a little bit obsessed. And I thought, it's a terrible place. It really is. It's a terrible place. And I still think it's weird to go somewhere and talk about people that you hate. Just don't eat at the restaurant anymore. But again, I've said it 100 times. I love our mods.
But what about like dog agility? Look, you know, here I struggle with this, and I'll tell you why.
I don't understand what you mean by dog agility. Like those courses they do and stuff. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Like because
they really do dig it.
Australian Shepherds love stuff like that. I think it's cool when the animal loves it and wants to do it. But I don't. Well, I'm such a weirdo about animals. I can't even go there. I won't even go to the zoo. I just won't. I can't see things in cages. It really, really makes me sad. Reddit is where Satan lives. Apparently so. And again, guys, you know, the world needs
he visits
haters
YouTube
too.
He visits YouTube all the time as well.
There's always going to be people who hate. Hey, Christy Lynn Wilson.
And we're not talking about them. Isn't that right?
I don't have anything to say tonight about it.
No.
There's really nothing new. That's what I mean. They don't come up with anything new other than I'm just a liar and a thief, and it gets boring. I could totally see Reese fast walking with Gertie in a fancy hat. Well, we were just doing that earlier. So yeah, that makes sense.
This may come as a shock to you, but I'm willing to admit this to the world. I occasionally carry Gertith on our walks because her little feet work so hard, and I start feeling bad for her.
You do pick her up and carry her, and it's really
well. I mean, if you look at her little feet, her feet are 2 inches long, if that, right? And then you got Bo Cephas's, and Bo's feet are like 6 feet long. And I just feel so bad for her because it takes 600 Gertie steps to go 2 Bo steps.
Thank you, Nikki K.
So she's always working really, really hard.
Yeah, nobody will ever hate me more than myself. I don't hate myself anymore. I'm working on that, but I don't find myself attractive. I don't think I'm a good person. Like, nobody's going to make it worse than what goes on in my head. I get bored with that shit. I don't know.
I think you're a good person.
Yeah.
I find you wildly attractive.
Well, that's not being a good person. That's just attractive.
No, I was ticking off 2 things on the list because you mentioned both of them. So I said, you know, the first and then the second. I understand.
Wildly, that. You say.
Yeah.
Wow.
You remember that thing earlier with the,
How I got it all the way in?
Hey, how are you?
Did Sterling fall off the face of the earth? He did.
Sadly, he did.
Sterling was never, guys. I mean, now I have to be honest. I'm not going to speak for him because I haven't talked to him that much. But he has a real full-time, very important, time-consuming job that he loves. He loves his job. So I'm not surprised that he doesn't really do anything anymore. But I miss the hell out of Sterling. I talked to him on the phone almost regularly until recently. I think he did he went out of town. And whenever he travels, I don't talk to him as much. But Sterling and I are very close. Very close. I would say very close. I share a lot with him. LBP became a member. Thank you, my friend. I really do miss him, though. And I know that if he ever decides to come back on YouTube, we'll do something together. I know that. Yeah,
I really dig the guy.
I love Sterling. He doesn't care for the negativity. And again, I admire that so much. I love that he's not a part of this group think crap. You know, he thinks for himself. He does things for himself. And I just think all around, he's a really cool guy. Like, there's so many things that I admire about Sterling that I would like to take and apply to my life. Like the negativity. I like that he just does, he's like, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. They're keeping themselves busy bringing you and yours down to avoid thinking about their own insecurities and self-loathing. That is true. The only thing I'll say about it, Helena, that does make me sad is, you know, the people who I love, I don't want to lose anybody because they go read bad things about me. But I also have to realize that is the reality of it.
Yeah. And if you lose somebody like that, they weren't much of a friend.
They weren't meant to be anyway. And new people will come in life. And I don't take the YouTube thing that seriously. You know, I mean, I love it. I never want to not have this channel, our channel, but I also realized that that could go away. You know, I could sink. I may sink. It may not work out for me.
I really wish you wouldn't say that.
I know you wish I wouldn't say that, but the fact of the matter is I'm not you and I don't think the same as you.
Either way, it's just, no matter how you think, it's really bad juju. And whether you believe in manifestation or whether you
maybe
just
it's
believe
the Scientology part of me, but it's
but we've agreed that that's a part you probably ought to work on, right?
Sure, but I also know that maybe they will succeed is what I'm saying. Like, my channel is shrinking. It's getting smaller. People are unsubscribing.
Yes, this happens.
It happens. That's what I'm saying. I'm not freaking out about it. I'm just saying maybe, I don't know.
Do you remember when I said to you on the 1-year anniversary of your channel, you're going to start losing subs left and right because they're going to start purging these people off your channel? And they did right at the 1-year mark. So this isn't a shocker.
It's also coming. Just not that upsetting to me. I don't know. The people who want to leave and go read that shit are going to go. That's what I mean. I'm bored about it. Like,
you know what?
It's okay. Let people choose what they want to do.
You know what's amazing? The same assholes that have been making videos about me and my family have been doing
Duck Dynasty guy.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 3 years. Apparently, he's got another channel. I found.
Well, that guy from Duck Dynasty, he looks like he was in Duck Dynasty.
And you're seeing him with his teeth in.
Well, he's frightening, and he looks like he's on drugs. I don't care about that kind of person. Like, I saw one thing, he came up in my feed, and I was like, he claimed to know me, and I was like, I'm offended that you would.
Something you want to tell me?
I don't know you. Yeah, and he was super hateful. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me because I'm like, no one's going to believe you. No, everybody will see through that. No one's going to. You have a cold, dark heart. No one's going to believe you. I went there once. I just don't get it. Just why? Don't these people have anything better to do? I bet they could find something. If they tried Amy Edge, you would think. And thank you for your super chat.
But they can't.
I still say it's like getting super sick at a restaurant and going on and on and on about it. Just don't eat there again. I don't get it. But, you know, there are people that really enjoy going over there and going, Reese is the worst. Wait till you guys come over here and read what we have to say. This is the truthful place. And she's a liar and you should come read what we have to say. Go read about it. People have the ability to make their own choice. Thank you, Lydia Krause. I love you, girl. I'll try. Thank you, Hunter.
From your
not
lips
Dollar
to
General.
God's ears. Yes, not.
Jenny gets chatty. Pitbull mom. Oh my God. Lurker tax. Never mind. I was thinking that was Dawn in Wyoming. She has a different Pitbull mom name.
Yep.
I don't blame you for staying out of the cesspool name. Yeah. Thank you, Pitbull mom. And I love that you're a lurker and came out. Thank you for the super chat.
I don't know how. I don't think I could find it if I had to. I don't know how any of it works, and it's probably better off that way. Because you know me.
The root people will stay because they're vegetables and have a tendency to stay in their place. You're so cute, Raymond.
Glad you're here, Raymond.
You just need to relax and be happy where you are. You're doing great. You can't keep thinking about what can destroy you. You've already been and found a way to escape. You're right. And I think it's just that mindset for me. You know, in Scientology, that's kind of a mindset. But it's also, I don't sit around freaking out about it. This reminds me so much, and I'll never talk about it because I don't even know politics. I was married to someone once who was so crazy about shoving politics down your throat. I always said to him, who cares if they don't vote for who you believe in? And he would go, because they have to know the truth. We have to make sure they know the truth. And I was like,
God.
let people believe what they want. If somebody wants to go to Reddit and go, I've just decided Reese makes me sick, I'm okay with that. Like, that doesn't, I think people should be able to have a choice and a voice. And
a choice and a voice.
I do.
I kind of like that, though. It's got a nice ring to it.
He still does, Rain Virus, big time. He's super psychotic with politics. And I would say that as his wife, so many times I'd go, can't you just let people see and believe what they want? Let them make their own decision, even if you don't agree with it. And he couldn't. He was like, no.
Well, it's funny that you say that, too, because I'm not making, you know me, right? I want to defend, you know.
Call me Dee Dee Broccoli Dazzle. That's hilarious. Oh my God.
He's you know, he's a guy I like to defend, you know.
Thank you, Beagle Mom.
In general principle, you know what I mean? I'm a guy that I can't. I was gonna try. I can't do it. Forget it.
I hate when people shove anything down your throat. I don't care if it's politics. I don't care if it's religion. And it's the same with this Reddit stuff. People are twisting and saying horrible things about me, and I'm not going to be able to put a stop to that. I don't want to put a stop to that. I want you guys, if you choose to, go over there and read it and make a decision. And if your decision is to unsubscribe and add yourself to the flame and go, you're right, she's horrible, then it was a loss and I will miss you. But, you know, it just wasn't meant to be. But I don't want people to feel like they can't make their own decisions. It's just,
you know what? And along those lines, like if you're over on my channel, I have no problem at all with people who disagree with me, right? I will bounce your ass off the 5th time you say the same thing, right? If it's painfully obvious that you're not disagreeing with me or having a dialogue, but that you're just trying to short circuit the show, I bounce it. But some of the best shows ever were people who said, I disagree. You know, that's usually a pretty good start to education, actually.
I don't want to call someone a hater, though, because they disagree. To me, there's a difference, and I've learned that recently. I love that in Carnisol. I used to, in the beginning, feel like, oh, you disagree? Then you're a troll. That's not true at all. They're probably just fine and a good person.
Come on, Gertrude. Come on.
Haters and trolls are people who actually say hateful things, like the bad things they say about Huxley. That's a hater or a troll, and I don't want you on my channel. But people can come on and disagree with me all day long, and I think that's healthy. I think it's okay. I think it's fine that we don't see eye to eye. I think it's okay that you think this about me, and that may not be true. It's okay. I think you smell great.
There you go.
She looks really nervous. Maybe
looks
mom
fantastic.
should hold her. Maybe mom should. I don't know. I have a different opinion about that. I don't mind if you disagree or you think I'm a terrible person. Thank you for becoming a member, Pitbull Mom. That's so sweet. Yeah, all I want is politics and religion-free connection space. You and me both. Don't worry, we'll never do that crap on my channel. And I can't speak to it anyway. I don't follow politics, and I don't know other religions besides Scientology, so I won't be speaking to that.
But you do speak. Somebody lit me up. I got an email from somebody. No, not an email, but a comment from someone that said that, you know, no one should ever talk to you about. And I just said, you know, Reese asks, no one should talk to you about religion. It makes them sick. And I said, Reese asks a lot of questions about religion. For the first time in your life, you have the opportunity to look into anything you want and not have someone go, you're doing what? Right? You got to get on the cans for 6 months or whatever the stupid stuff.
Well, I've been talking more about religion lately, but not religion. Sorry, Kestrel. There really wasn't one tonight. I am more curious about the idea of God because I never could research that before. So I do have questions about it, but I definitely don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to step on toes. Right. It's just things that I'm curious about that I have never been able to ask.
I think that's cool. I think it's cool that you're
but I hope that doesn't offend people because I don't want to discuss politics. Thank you, Sarah. You said that on the Zoom call, and that was really nice. One thing I love about Reese is your curiosity. It's incredible and beautiful. Thank you. And I hope no one takes it as offensive because I honestly, that was one place we weren't allowed to go in Scientology. We were not allowed to talk about God. Thank you, Caddy Connie. Wow. We just weren't allowed to go there. And so I am reaching, I would say, a little more for the first time ever. And it feels right in my heart.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want to go to church, but I'm curious. For the first time, I feel very, very curious. I want to know certain answers to things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm embarrassed, but yesterday I learned Jesus had a last name and it was Christ. I didn't know his last name was Christ.
Or Judas's last name was Iscariot, or that
I didn't know they had last names.
Miradeer says, bare minimum,
Lydia.
I hope, you know what? Miradeer's comment's a good one.
Bare minimum, I hope people care that democracy is happening regardless of political preferences.
I agree. And you know something? I do believe, people may not, but I do believe that we are getting to the point where we're going to get back to having the ability to sit down and have conversations. You may not believe this. Q and I do not agree politically, right? Viciously, we disagree politically. And as much as I absolutely love hanging out and talking.
I'm sorry, but that is such a nice thing to say. You are beautiful and have a brand new life. You have a great son and an awesome boyfriend. That is, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that was really nice. And I don't recognize your name. I do, but I don't. I feel like you've been more of a lurker. So I just want to say thank you. And Yarn Prepper, that's okay. Christ is not his last name.
No, but it is a title, which is more like a title, but very much, yes, very much more like a title. What my shirt says? Yeah, isn't that awesome? The Tommy shirt. I dig this shirt.
Wait, then, did he have a last name?
What was that? What was I talking about before?
Q.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
You and Q don't see eye to eye on
politically. And we would sit down and discuss politics for hours, literally for hours, and never got at each other's throat. I mean, he would say to me, "Yeah, you're an idiot," but he never said it in such a way, that we could have political discourse and debate. And I'll tell you something, there's not much better actually than talking to somebody who doesn't agree with you. Give it a shot sometime, right? And try to be the more gentle or the more kind, right?
What is that? This is silly nonsense and it shouldn't be there. Why is this happening?
Adam Wood, send me an email. It's a very interesting subject. And I've done some shows on it. I think it's pretty really cool concept.
Has one on called The Early Christianity. I just wonder, okay, so maybe he didn't have a last name. A church where you're not allowed to talk about God.
Yes, that would be a cult. And we were talking about this.
That is a weird point, isn't it? A church where you're not allowed to talk about God.
Well, first of all,
why did he call it a church?
How about a church that won't, that restricts you from studying? If they say to you, you can't look up this, I think you ought to run like hell. That's my personal opinion, right? If they say you can't, sorry, Bridget Junk, have a nice night.
Thank you, Bridget. See you, girl.
Stay safe. Correct, Raymond.
Raymond is pretty good on this stuff. Mm-hmm. Did Joseph have a last name? Okay.
Joseph.
We're just going to
it's an of last name. Like he's referred to as Joseph. He didn't have a last name per se.
I have. Yeah. I have been doing a lot of thinking all of a sudden lately about whether or not God exists. Now, I've always felt like there was a God. I don't know. That's just a feeling bigger than me, Jilbo. But for my own, I've always kind of felt like there's somebody or something, or maybe more than one. Hey, Ken, maybe more than one God. I never knew as a Scientologist, but I just always felt like there was something bigger. Now, LRH always said no, because he would say, how did everything get created? You're looking at it. We did it. It was a group effort. It's a group agreement. We all had reality on this environment, so we created it. So that was what I was told, is like Earth, everything you're looking at is because Casey Key, happy birthday. Everything you're looking at is because we created it as a whole, as a group. Jesus did have a last name, Jesus Bar
Monica.
Joseph. My husband is a scholar. I had to ask him. Wow.
Monica, that's a great comment, by the way.
Did you know that?
I have read that.
I didn't know that. Where? I think it's healthy to surround yourself with people of different beliefs as long as they aren't hateful. Oh, well, of course.
For a very long time, last names in most places, you were like, unless you happened to have a vocation like you ran the mill, in which case you were
you, Sarah Browett.
You were probably a miller, or if you ran, you were a blacksmith, they would call you a smith or smithy. But the vast majority of people would be Reese from Bug Tussle. So it ended up becoming sort of, played off to Reese Bug Tussle, but very often those names started out as sort of.
Who did LRH think created us? Well, nobody. The Thetan, that I don't really know the answer to. He just said that the Thetans have been around for 76 trillion years. And we are senior to everything. Thetans were originally OT8. What?
Sorry. I couldn't read things when that gets there. I can't read crap. I'm blind as hell.
He doesn't come on our channel anymore, Bo Beats.
He doesn't like me. It's kind of sad. I love him. Doesn't like me anymore.
Yeah.
These things happen.
He may come back around.
Yeah, I hope so.
I
hope so.
Anyway, that's a good question. There's so much to the Thetan. Like, I want to get into that sometime, but there's the GE, and it's called the genetic entity, and that follows the body every time somebody picks up a body. And that's what decides that, like, you're going to be diabetic or you're going to have cancer automatically. And when the body drops, the genetic entity is a separate thing, and it goes and clings to a new body. That's what L. Ron Hubbard says. And I remember talking to Aaron about that, and he was like, I never understood the GE. And I was like, me either. I never understood it. We should read about it sometime because it was weird as hell.
So what, GE?
The GE, the genetic entity. So like my dad, when I was little, if I got sick or something, he'd be like, this one's got a real great GE that picked up on this body. And I was like,
so it's a whoop ass insult, huh?
Yeah, but it's weird because it's separate from the body. It's separate from the Thetan, and it goes and it has like a mind of its own, and it clings to different bodies. And it, like, if you're susceptible to diabetes, that's your GE. It's got nothing to do with your yeah.
So do you bring that in, or is this separate? And
you pull in whatever GE that pulls in with you, and if you get a shitty one, like if you,
so it is your fault always.
Yeah, like I love Christine Applegate. What does she have? MS. I hate it for her. It makes me so sad.
I used to really like her.
Something like that, like a person who develops a disease or some debilitating illness or anything like that. That's the GE, and you just happen to pull that in. You got a GE with, and I remember talking to Aaron about this because I was like, whoa, I never understood it. The concept of the GE is really weird. We should get some of my books out and read about it. But I remember, yeah. No, not anymore, Bo Beats.
Honestly, here's what happened.
I think I feel like a witch too, Kestrel.
He began to date, and the girl he's dating doesn't like me at all, and she doesn't like Reese even more, and that's a problem.
No, she really hates me.
That's a problem. So, and you know what? Wouldn't have been a problem for me. I could have lived with that. It's got nothing to do with me, right? The two of us could have, but it's It was sad. It's just it went down bad, and I don't get it. I really don't. The last thing he said to me was, "I love you," and I would never not want to be friends with you ever. That was the last thing he sent in a text, and then the next one was, "I hate you." It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I think
apparently he's spreading a lot of hate.
He is spreading a lot of hate, and going on troll channels and doing whatever people are telling him. But you know what? It is what it is. This is a cat I invited into my home, and you know what? He liked my family. I don't know what the hell happened. That's the truth. I'm praying for the cat.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
It is too bad. I thought the GE was the cellular memory. It might be, JR. I just remember learning about it on study, and then my dad talking about it a lot. And then I remember Aaron and I talking about it. The GE is a confusing thing, and I will have to get my books out. History of Man. I know you got
the books.
History of Man.
Yeah, we have that one here. I saw that one recently.
Hand me that one on the bottom there. It's not probably going to be in there. Science of Survival.
Mm-hmm. I know where that other one is.
History of Man's going to talk more about the GE.
Yeah, I know where that is.
History of Man?
Yeah, but I probably couldn't do it during the show. But I
Yeah,
do
it's
know where
okay.
it is.
We'll do a show on it sometime. It doesn't really talk about genetic entity. It talks about genetic personality, which I've never heard of that. 536. This is a hell
Shelley
of a
works
book.
for GE for 17 years.
They make great appliances. Did I say 536?
Yeah.
I just want to pull it up and see if it would be in History of Man for sure. You okay, Gert?
You got a Shriner mailing today, Jan Prepper?
So it says the definition of if you guys want to hear this, maybe not. But the genetic personality, it says personal characteristics and tendencies derived from the 3 inheritance sources: MEST, which is matter, energy, space, and time. It's just, this is all MEST, matter, energy, space, and time. Organic line, the theta body. This might be said to be basic personality or the core of basic personality. So that doesn't really tell us anything.
Not much.
But yeah, the GE. Hey, Rogue Hedgie. I love Rogue Hedgie.
So do I. Rogue Hedgie, good to see you.
Hey, Marissa Martin.
Can't stay. That's okay. We'll see you on the replay crew. Love the replay crew.
That's awesome, Kestrel. So we were going to talk a little bit about, we're already an hour in, and I don't want to keep you for too long because I know you're going to go on the boat, but I would read the Bible, guys, but I think it's too steep and heavy for me. I'm not ready to do it. I think I would have a very difficult time understanding and putting the concepts together. Don't you?
I think that right now you're working really hard on some language stuff.
Yeah, I think it's too soon.
You have no idea how much time my girlfriend spends every day saying,
what does that mean? What does that mean?
Hey, there's some words I wanted to ask you about. And I love that. I think it's honestly, this is what I mean when I say intelligence, right? That's intelligence. The desire and the seeking of knowledge, right, has nothing to do with what you've learned, right? That's different. The making you smart, you're a smart person because you devour that. It's the truth.
But be honest, be totally honest right now, because I really don't know a lot of
That's
words.
Not true.
Of words. How many words a day am I like, what does that mean? What does this mean? I will think of words and I'm like, I heard this and I don't know what it means. How many times a day? Probably 10 at least.
I would say that happens.
And it's not hard to know words. You say a lot of words. I'm like, I've never heard of that. I don't know what it means.
But you don't ask me the same word twice. It's very rare that you'll go back and go, I don't remember. You told me that one. That doesn't happen. So you're learning and you're learning fast. It's exciting. I think it is. And then you use words that I know you were asking me about earlier, right? And I think to myself, okay, that's
but
perfect.
It's like basic human words. It's weird. Like, remember the word stoic?
Stoic, yeah.
I had no idea what that meant. Yeah. But like, I'm trying to think of words that I want to say I cleared with you. What are other words that there's quite a few that I was like, I've never heard of that and I didn't know what it meant.
I will read that. I promise. Thank you. I'm trying to get, apparently she's going to stay over there. She doesn't want to play with me anyway. There's
a lot of words. I'm actually going to miss that because you're leaving. And I would say every single day.
There's probably more than 10.
It's honestly, probably more than 10. It's probably more like 25. It's probably like 25 words a day. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I would say at least once an hour. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does this word mean? I heard this. What does it mean? Look at Bobo. Oh, he needs a haircut. But he's a good person. And he's very friendly. And he will listen to your stories.
Sorry. He will. He's a nice guy.
He listens to your stories. And he wants to know more about your life. And he's very kind. And he's a good guy. Yeah, the words I'm learning is like learning a foreign language, but it's kind of sad because, thank you, Raymond. I will do that.
Well, you already knew a foreign language. And anybody that has ever watched,
so nice.
Anybody that's ever watched or hung out with a couple of second gens, like I've gone out with 5 of them, and I'm the only person in the room that is not an ex-Scientologist. That's happened to me 3 or 4 different times. And you know what? You guys fall into your old language, and I don't understand anything that gets said in the room. Now, I don't feel stupid because I just don't speak the language.
If you put me in a room with another Scientologist, it will absolutely switch over.
Yes, I believe that.
Well, like for instance, Sterling and I didn't do it on lives because I feel like he didn't enjoy doing it. But when we would talk after the live, or if we talk on the phone, every time I talk to Sterling on the phone, I flip over to Scientology. He doesn't flip over, but I do. It's funny.
Yeah, because it's easier for you.
It's so crazy though, because I'm feeling a lot of third party, and I just wish it would as is, but it won't as is. And I just wish that I feel a little ARC broken about it, and it's just a break in reality for me. And I all of a sudden just switch over, and he doesn't say anything to me, but it's weird because
he's been out a lot longer.
But he knows exactly what I'm saying.
Of course.
And so I just switch over. It's really wild. I can ask my phone, Rain. But the thing is that I love about Tommy, what do I do? What do I do when we go over a word? I give you like 10 concepts.
Right.
And I go, so not like this, but like this. And then you'll either go, yeah, or sometimes, yeah, kind of. And we do it over and over until I get it down.
Yeah. And I think I think I actually complimented you on this today, because it really is a very different thing. Over the years, especially because I ran phone rooms, I've dealt with a lot of people where I tried to help people build vocabularies. This is not something that this is not my first go around, but you're different than everybody else. Other people, would say, what does that mean? And you say, the definition is this, and they go, okay, thanks. And when you tell Quibs, she wants that broken down, and she wants to understand it. And that's perfect.
I don't just go, oh, okay, cool. Glad I got it now.
No, it makes a lot more sense.
I keep you for a good 5 minutes on that one word. And I'm like, so if I were to do this, does that mean that? And then you'll either go, yeah, or you'll go, yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Exactly. Yep.
For someone who doesn't have much education, you are very well written. You are a really intelligent person. Amy, that's such a nice thing for you to say, babe. Thank you.
And she is. You guys, I'm telling you, you don't even know.
You know so many words that we don't do to Scientology. You have to translate for us. Yeah, but we don't translate very often. And I understand this too. When I'm around other LGBT people, I tend to feel a little more at ease versus other people. Raymond, I totally get that. That's how I feel when I'm around other Scientologists.
Come here, Moosey.
I love your desire to know the deep nuances of each word. Yeah, that probably comes from, he's such a good guy. What a great person, though, honestly. I mean, look at him. He looks like a teddy bear.
He really does.
And his mom likes it most when he's all bushed out like this. I like when he's bushy. And he's a great person. He's a good person. He has a good heart.
We need to scroll up. I saw a comment that I loved, and we missed it. Bo Beats. There you go. I love that comment.
What? Oh, from Bo? I love Bo Beats. How to express, but Tommy's face seems so different. Softer now. Love looks good on you both. Gotta go. Love you, Bo Beats.
Have a great night,
She's
Bo
right,
Beats.
You do look different.
Yeah. And I think Catherine McGinnis's advice is good. And I'm a believer.
He's a good guy.
And I really piss off believers who would like to stormtroop my girlfriend and try to convert her. And I would like Quibs to have her questions answered. If it works that way, then she's in the driver's seat, right? She's never going to put herself in situations that it's too much, or she feels like she's being pressured or any such thing. If you're just asking questions and getting answers back, and I'm really sorry if this sounds crappy, but I kind of like being the person she does it with, because I don't ever push.
Never. You don't push that on me, and you don't make me feel stupid for not knowing things. I can't tell you. Tommy is one of maybe 2 people who don't make me feel stupid. Even people who are trying to be nice will go, yeah, everybody knows that, or like they may not even mean it, but I don't feel safe with a lot of people to go, what does that mean? I don't know. Now I'm getting better at it. I don't really care anymore. I have no problem being like, I mean, I'm not trying to look smart. So I've never had that gene. I'm not trying to like act like I know more than I do. So I don't have a problem going, I've never heard of that before. I don't know what it means.
Yeah. No.
But it's hard to sometimes do that depending on who the person is, because they may go, really? You've never heard of that?
Yeah, they make you feel less than.
I think you give us too much credit. I understand your Scientology may make you need to know it, but your vocabulary range greatly extends mine. I don't need all the words. I just want to be a great communicator. Sarah, I love that. And thank you for saying that. I don't feel that way.
Do you know what? That really is a great comment,
Yadira,
because it's astute as hell, right? Here's something interesting.
I love you, Tony Suter.
How many words do you think it takes to speak a language?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay. They say that Americans have somewhere around a 20,000 word vocabulary. Most Americans, right, have an average of about a 20,000 word vocabulary, but it only takes 1,200 words to speak a language, because you don't need to know the word asparagus, because you can say a vegetable that's green and is shaped like, right, and use the 1,200 words, and the person will go, oh, it's an asparagus. You don't need to know the word tennis ball to say it's that sport where it's got the racket thing with the, right? If you know 1,200 words, you can speak and communicate in any language. It's a fascinating thing. It really is. It's a fascinating thing. But you do have a big vocabulary. It's just that
really?
You do. You have a very large.
I would never say that about myself.
That's because because you're judging yourself on the words that you don't know. You're not judging yourself on the words that you do. It only sticks out to you when you go, Tommy just said something, I don't know what he means. Or there was something on TV, on YouTube, and I don't know what it means. And a lot of times you have a definition of the word, right? And I don't mean she's got it wrong. She's been drilled on it, right? She's been trained on it. They gave her the wrong definition and trained her on it. We got into a great argument once.
Yes, we did.
Over a word that had, and I don't mean we debated the word. Yeah, exactly. She really is. It's pretty amazing. And doesn't just know them, knows what's going on in their lives. I mean, it's
mods. Can you please post my PO box? Thank you, Christy Lynn Wilson. We did get into a heavy argument.
Yeah, and not just because we didn't understand, right? She said something that was really hurtful to me, and finally I sat down, and you know what? It occurred to me that she just doesn't do that. Like I've dated women who will say something to hurt you. Like they will go out of their way, and they choose the right words to really make you feel pain. And you've never done that. No, Reese has never intentionally.
I'm not like that.
No, you're not.
I would say if I was like that, I'm not like that.
So in the middle of a really good fight, I went, "What do you think that word means?"
He did. He stopped and he said, "What is your?" It was the word apathy.
It was the word apathy.
Apathetic. You asked me something, and you said, "How do you feel about us?"
Yeah, I said, "How do you feel about us?"
I said, "Apathetic." And he was like, "What?"
Kind of got kicked in the junk. Didn't kind of bummed me out a little bit.
And we fought for like 10 minutes. And you were like, what does the word apathetic mean to you? And to me, in Scientology, it means grief, griefy. That's actually the word. You get griefy. I showed you on the tone scale the other day. Yes. I showed you apathy and grief are right there in that band. LRH says that apathy means when you're in grief. The stage of grief. And you told me it meant something totally different.
It means something totally different. So what apathy is like, it's, you don't care. It's like indifference. So you're like, take it or leave it. So I was, it's really a very different, and there's a lot of stuff with LRH like this. Where this jackass.
We have found way more words that don't have English.
The correct definition, where he wrote his own definitions. You know something, Sinead, you're right. Admitting you don't know something is brave. Yep, smart person behavior. I remember as a very, very
that's a good idea. Start with a children's Bible. That's actually smart, Tony Suter.
Yeah, I agree with that. Is a great
thank you for your super chat. That's a great idea. Your degree of information retention is remarkable.
It is. It's one of the things that You can, yeah, you can understand why that was a bummer to me, right? When
I don't care what apathy means. Thank you, Hockey Town John. Again, I figure everybody does that, retains information.
Well, you know, something else that I got to go over routinely with, bless you, Quibs. Quibsy and I have to talk about this all the time because I use the term very often, right? Just because you don't know that does not make it any different, right? It does have to come up a lot because Reese will say, well, so-and-so should do a show on this. And I'll say, so-and-so doesn't go in front of the camera. Right? They make videos, but they don't, why not? Well, because 99 out of 100 people don't want to ever be a public speaker or stand in front of a camera. This is a concept Quib doesn't understand because being raised in a cult, being raised in a cult, it's a completely different situation, right? They're going off and doing the stuff with the cans. It's
Tommy
so different.
told me yesterday, that like most people won't go in front of a camera. And
number one fear of all people on earth is public speaking. Second is death.
I couldn't believe that.
She could not believe that. She thinks I said, no, you got to Google this. I'm telling you the truth. This really is more people. Yeah, this is everybody's biggest fear. More people have that phobia than any other.
But
crazy. You have no, you've got no point of reference because to you, right, Reese, and she said while we were having this discussion, she said, yeah, I don't think I could do it on, it would be way different if it was a stage and it was a crowd of people.
Yeah.
And so I said, no, it wouldn't.
Then I said, there's 605 people in here right now. I might feel a little bit nervous standing in front of you on a stage. I wouldn't if I was in the crowd with you, but if I was like up on a stage, I might be nervous, but I also said I would still do it.
Right. Have a good night, Amber. Sorry.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Adam, I'm with you. I love it when people ask questions too. And again, you know what? I don't even care if the questions aren't particularly, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have to be softballs. I like people trying to find stuff out. I don't like people who are disrespectful. And you know what? I can ask you anything and do it respectfully. There's nothing on this planet that I can't word in such a way that I could ask you something without being a dick. But most people just can't seem to pull that off.
You were programmed, yeah.
Correct, right?
You do a truckload of things above the norm, but have warped standards on thinking you are lower than. You don't have the perspective we do, so be in awe of it. You are amazing. See, that's really nice. I just don't. Am I that different than the rest of you guys? Come on.
No, you are. Very much so. You're not wildly different than me because I'm kind of screwed up and I had this, I was different than most people. I think you and I get along really well because we're a lot alike in a lot of ways. Lisa Kelson slept like poo last night.
That sucks, Lisa.
I bet I could beat it. I really had a bad night's sleep last night. I got about 45 minutes of sleep. It was a tough night. And then Bo...
Maybe you shouldn't do a 3-hour boat tonight.
I didn't do a 3-hour boat yesterday. Wise guy. Oh, I was going to kiss you too. And then she went in for that...
Asking questions gains you more knowledge. Yeah. There's only one stupid question. That's the one that's not asked. Well, see, I don't have a problem asking questions, but guys, that's probably my Scientology.
Yeah. When I was really
feedy weedy, it's not beady weedy. You know what? This is one Scientology term that I never used. Some people did. LRH used it a lot. It's feedy, TH, feedy weedy.
He said a lot of weird crap.
Reese, I don't think you are that different, but you've had very different experiences and you are incredibly brave. Well, thank you, Superstorm Day. That's so nice. Feedy weedy. Guys, I never use of all the Scientology words. I used them all. Never used that one. Feedy weedy to me, I believe, because it wasn't used that much around me, is very like you can't make a decision. You're kind of what you would call stuck in a maybe. But I could be very wrong on that. I never used the term. I don't know. That was like the only one I didn't use. Theedy weedy. It's just kind of dainty and like what LRH would call PTS to the middle class. Like I was PTS to the middle class. That's what he called people who were materialistic and liked good things. And that's what he would shame you about if you're not doing enough time on course, if you're not climbing up the bridge. Well, you're PTS to the middle class. My dad would say that all the time to me as a child. Yeah, wishy-washy. Yeah. Yes, wishy-washy. My dad would say that to me as a kid because I liked things. And he'd be like, well, you're PTS to the middle class. Right. That just means you're not going up the bridge fast enough and you're too enticed by the things in the real world.
Can you scroll down? I missed a couple of, Tommy, I remember waking up today thinking yesterday's. Elena, I love you.
For me, going to college wasn't about learning tons of stuff, but it was about learning how to learn. I never felt like I learned that when I was young. And that's pretty cool, Teresa. I don't feel like I'm very good at learning how to learn.
Me too.
Even though I did studied LRH study tech like crazy. Any ROJ updates? Not a lot, Chris. Thank you for your super chat. That's jumping the track here.
Raymond Fernandez.
Hey, Franklin.
Yes, lukewarm. I used that example that day with when we were talking about apathy.
Not a lot. No, we actually are probably going to do one when Tommy gets home because I do have a few things that people from under the radar have reached out to me about, but I need to kind of put it all together and do a show about it. Is it just that it is just that your view of a standard person is misjudged. You are amazing exactly as you are. That's so nice. You're learning. We are learning different things at times, but still no less than. Thus relatable. I love you, Sarah Browett. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of half-assed, Raymond. There's so many Scientology terms. There's so
What's
many.
The other stupid one about the floof? What's that one that was
floof?
Yeah, someone's going to put it up there for me. He says it in like 3 of his speeches. It just sounds so it sounds so dumb to me. I'm like, he's putting us on, right? Goofing the floof. Goof the floof? That's what he said. I promise. Yeah. Goof
Love
the
you,
floof.
Gloria.
He wasn't particularly.
Goof the floof? I've never heard him say that.
Well, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you him saying it in a speech. And someone here is going to back me up on this. Did he take acid, says Muffet Lou. Great question, right? No, he was into speed. That's what he was into. I promise.
Love you, Hockey Town John. I don't know if you're talking to me, but I love you. Never heard that. But that would be something I could see him saying, like on a lecture. But there are actual many, many terms that we use as Scientologists, again, that are just absolutely off the wall.
Mean something completely different than what we think it means.
Yeah, but not just mean something completely different. But like, for instance, just stupid words where you could have said epiphany. Right. Cognition. I cognited.
Right. Cognited.
I cognited. Means epiphany. Why couldn't you just use the regular word? Why do we have to come up with that?
Yeah.
And I know why. Because
you do know why.
Because it makes you more isolated.
That's right. It pulls you out of society. Even if you want to go talk to your friends and go, hey man, this stuff is so great, you can't. Because the vocabulary, what you learned, you can't share with your friends. Right? You can't go talk to them because you're going to have to explain concepts and say things in a language that they don't speak. It's by design. It's definitely
he was the keeper of knowledge. Yeah. Made him feel smarter. A total isolation. But it's so true. That's what I think was one of the biggest shocks to me, was getting outed and losing everybody overnight, because those were my people that spoke that language.
Right.
And so it was very hard for me. I know that sounds stupid, but it was very hard for me to adapt to you guys, to people like you, because if you put me next to a Scientologist or 3 or 4 or 5, it's very factual that I'm going to flip to a different
Convicts do it.
Different
Soldiers
lingo.
do it. You've seen me when I get around if I talk to Russ within 6 minutes, he and I will be talking and you won't understand anything we say because it's what happens. You know what I mean? Again, inside, people shorten everything as much as they can because there's not a lot of bullshit that goes on. People just nothing's flowery. No one's trying to impress you with how many words that they're trying to make everything the shortest sentence possible. And they talk just differently. It's a whole different set of, it's a whole completely different language. And convicts do it constantly.
Thank you, Amy.
Soldiers
27.
do it. Soldiers do it. If you ever see soldiers get together. But again, that's a control group, right? It's just another kind of control group. So these are recurring, you know what I mean by that, right? It is a wicked control group.
Yeah, but the soldiers thing and the convict thing to me is a little different. That's not a control thing. That's just you guys have your own group of stuff you talk about, but I have a feeling it would be harder to translate Scientology.
Yeah, because we picked up convict at 18.
And you picked up words that everybody knows. You're just shortening them.
Well, no, what normally is what happens is that normal words get used, right? The bark. Right, the word bark usually is in reference to body parts flying off people, right? If somebody gets beat badly in prison and there's blood and things.
So you've come up with your own.
I didn't, but the fellas have. Yeah, there's a
slang
for everything. It's just convict.
So
slang.
I guess it's similar, but I still feel like
what the real different part, what really makes it different is that at 18 or at 25, I was 39 the first time I went to the joint. Right? I was in my 30s the first time. I might have been a little younger than that, but I was in my 30s the first time I went to prison. So, yeah, it's crazy. I had a life to develop a very normal vocabulary. You didn't. From day one, they were taking words that should have meant this and telling you it meant that. Very, very different. Very different.
It's not just words, though. Like, again, it's weird ass like
concepts.
Yeah, like what theories. I said earlier, like I feel a little bit like I feel a little third partied.
Yeah.
Like there's just weird concepts. I don't understand why he did that other than I guess to make us seem like we're superior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, come under this umbrella. Only these people know this, and you got a whole world.
Can you put that up for me? Superstorm Day. Every subculture develops their own language to a point. That's why there are thousands of languages. No question, right? And even really, look at guys that race cars, right? Or look at guys that play golf, or look at everybody has, to some degree, a little bit of a slightly different language as it evolves, or even sort of culturally, right? If you live in the Northeast, you're probably going to drink a Coke, no matter who the manufacturer is. They just say they're drinking a Coke, whereas down south people drink pop and right, all the different places. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You could put 6 packs of soda. Yeah, it is. It made him feel powerful. Now, see, growing up in Scientology, like being born into it, I never felt powerful. Like I didn't know any different. I was using those words and concepts with everybody I grew up around. But I guess I could see how if you joined tomorrow and, made it to clear and you were newly in Scientology, you might feel kind of cool. But I didn't feel cool because I was.
Yeah, there's no point of reference. Could you scroll down like Catherine McGinnis? Thank you so much. What a kind thing to say.
Thank you, Carol Barnhart.
Wow, what a kind thing to say. That's incredible. Thank you so much. I just saw my name.
That is a nice thing to say,
yeah,
Catherine.
Really
That's really nice. Thank you. Yeah. Even different jobs, yeah, or different industries.
Absolutely.
Linguistics is so interesting, but LRH took it to a whole new. That's what I mean. I feel like
Well, the drug culture.
I do like documentaries, Raymond. I don't watch them anymore, but
That's
I
all
love
I
them.
watch.
Yeah, I
It's
love
the only thing
documentaries.
it's the only thing I can watch, right? Or really old films.
Mhm.
But the drug culture, right? One of the reasons that your kid is in so much danger, honestly, is that there's something very cult-like about drugs when you first start getting high as a kid. You stop hanging out with the kids that you normally hung out with. Your clothing changes, right? Guys start wearing patchouli oil, they start wearing tie-dyes, right? Everything starts to change. And it's very cult-like. It really is. It was for me. Um, all of my friends got high and they all spoke a language that was really, really different, right? They didn't call it pot, right? Because their parents did. They went out of their way to have different words for everything because you didn't want to sound like mom and dad. And it was odd because when Spanky was, when he started to experiment with drugs and I caught him and, went through all that, the words he was telling me, it was like, I remember being blown away that nothing that I said, right? Not one term in the drug world that I ever used did my kid use because it was a complete, every single new group.
Well, look at Huxley. Like he has all these words now in high school that
Absolutely.
he uses that, and I get that. Again, but I don't know what those words mean, and neither do you. But I'm just saying it does seem like LRH took it to another level.
Oh, no question.
Only because now that I'm learning stuff and having to learn the English version, I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, some of it too was, the military is huge on abbreviating things, right? The KP, the PT, all of the different initials that they have for all of the different stuff that they abbreviate the snot out of. Well, LRH was in the military, right? Didn't do a whole lot of anything except fire at, non-existent ships. However, he was there. I do call Reese Quibs or Quibsy. Yes. So sadly, that is what that's kind of what I do. But what was I saying? Something about LRH, wasn't I?
Yeah, in the military.
Yeah, he was a military guy. So he bastardized a lot of that too, right? And he had to run, right? He had to go on a ship because he was wanted by governments. So he kind of had this quasi, military thing going on.
Well, yeah, like we had the MAA, the Master at Arms.
Right.
Like, well, look at the Seaward uniform.
Everything is abbreviated, right? Everything.
I know, isn't Quibsy cute? Lately, he's been calling me Quibsy, and I think that's so cute.
Yep. AWOL, snafu, right? Absolutely. AWOL, right? Would be absent without leave. Snafu would be situation normal, all fouled up. I don't think it's foul. In the Air Force, OSA is Office of Special Investigations.
And I agree with that, Shelley.
Prison too.
He did make a mockery of it. Yeah.
He did hang out with a cult leader before he started. LRH hung out with a lot of really, Fubar's a good one. He hung out with a lot of really odd people, right? He did.
See, we're not told all that as Scientologists.
You didn't know about Jack Parsons?
Hell no. Yeah. We didn't even know. Guys, we didn't even know that he was married more than to Mary Sue Hubbard. I had no idea that guy had been married 3 times and had kids with all 3 different wives.
At least 3.
We were told he had LRH Jr. What was sad?
Steve, or what was his name?
No, Quentin.
There was a Quentin.
Diana Hubbard. Like, we didn't even know any of that. They don't share that part of his life with Scientologists. It's crazy. I had no idea he experimented with that. What, Crowlister?
Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
Aleister Crowley, which, or who I should say, he never met. But Jack Parsons. Who worked with Aleister Crowley, he did meet.
We didn't know anything about all that. I remember asking my mother-in-law when I watched the Netflix series. I asked her about it one day. She didn't know I watched the Netflix series. But I said, V. McWilliams, I was shocked when I was brought a little box of Coke.
Yeah, a little blow.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's the craziest thing I've heard all night. Thank you for your super chat. I asked Brenda about it. And I was like, did you know that he had more than those kids and he was married more than to Mary Sue Hubbard? And she was like, no, he wasn't. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure LRH had like 2 other wives and kids with them too. And she was like, no. She's been a Scientologist over 40 years. We're not told that.
Right. No, they're kept in the dark.
Yeah,
right?
we're not told
It's
that.
the mushroom technique, right? Keep them in the dark, feed them shit, and hopefully there'll be some kind of growth. That's kind of the concept.
I didn't know that the term WOG is a racial slur. We use that all the time.
You would.
I mean, that was he wrote about WOGs all the time. To me, a WOG is just a non-Scientologist.
Well, yes, but in other countries, and it's funny because Quibsy and I were having this conversation. Was it yesterday or the day before?
The day before.
Where we were talking about how if I sound like a jerk so often because someone will reach out and say, "You can't say that in my country. This means this," and my response is usually, the lifeboat's in 110 countries. You got any idea how many words I'd have to get rid of, right? So I'm kind of just going to play to the U.S. and I kind of feel bad about it. But that's where I live, and it's the only words that I know.
That's why I don't say WOG anymore, because I still don't know really what it means outside of a non-Scientologist. But I know it's offensive in other countries, so I don't want to offend anybody.
It's a racial slur.
T.S., what would you say to Reese's dad? Oh.
I probably wouldn't say much. I think
it's Raymond talking like you. Miss me on the word policing.
Yeah. More than likely what I would say to what I would probably say to her dad is just that he's such a disappointment as a human being, right? Because we know that we're born with something so ingrained in us, right? For real, like birds know to fly south for the winter, right? There are birds that know that they're going to mate for life. They know exactly where they're going to go to do all these things because it's ingrained. It's just nature, right? It's human nature. Well, that's how men take care of their daughters. It's human nature. It's built into us, which means you really got to work to be the asshole that he was, right? You got to work at it. Now, getting brainwashed, he doesn't get a pass. He doesn't. I've heard people say, well, he's in the cult. He joined it. He wasn't born into it. He's an asshole. I would like to tell him he's an asshole. That would really make me feel good. And I promise you that's all I would do. Right? Unless he got lippy.
Oh, and he would.
In which case I'd crush his larynx.
He's a lippy man.
They'll have that on Reddit tomorrow too. For instance, that the guy that Aaron and I went and saw in LA. Apparently I was packing heat on that. I don't know if you heard that crap. My God, the things people say. I was on federal probation for gun charges. I got on a plane carrying a piece. It's really silly. He is a sad state of affairs. He does not get a pass. No, he doesn't. He doesn't get a pass. He joined the friggin' cult. How old was he?
My dad?
Yeah. When he joined?
I think he was 19.
Okay. No pass.
He's like 76 now.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't get a pass. I'm sorry, he doesn't. And I would like to look him in the eyes because I played a crap load of poker in my life, right? And I'd like to look him in the eyes and see if he'd bluff. I'd like to. Because I would like to look at him and go, this is all bullshit at this point, right? Like you have to, right? With the Xenu shit and all of the rest of it, you got to realize you pissed your entire life away.
They don't realize it. They don't see that, guys.
I'm telling you right now, I know for a stone cold fact that my friend does. I know for a fact my friend does, but there's no way he's leaving. The girl that he's with is considerably younger than he was and was set up by the mom, set him up with her daughter. And he's, I don't know, you know the two of them, right? He's probably 25 years older than us. Really odd. Odd. But everything about the two of them are odd. But that dude knows. He knows. And he's going to stick in it for the rest of his time on Earth, knowing he got ripped off, because the other option is even worse.
I have a hard time believing that.
I'm telling you, sat in a room with him. I'm telling you, it's a fact.
He was an OT8 and he told you he knows it's bullshit.
No, he didn't say, I know it's bullshit, but I knew this cat really, really well. And I promise you, he knew it was bullshit.
Did he do drugs?
Yeah. That's how he joined the cult of Scientology.
No. I mean, once he was OT8.
Yeah, we did. I got him high, but only probably 3 or 4 times. He wasn't like getting abusively.
High on what?
We did some blow.
What?
Yeah, we did
Okay,
some blow.
that's huge. That's a really big deal.
Yeah, we did some blow.
Scientologists don't do drugs, and
we did some pills, and we got shafazed every single time I went to town until his wife went nuts and said, "You are not working with this dude."
That guy did blow, and he was an OT8.
Yeah.
You're sure?
I snorted it with him. It was
Kestrel. He's talking about a guy that he used to work with that was an OT8.
Yeah, I don't want to.
No.
Aaron did once though. Go watch any of the old videos I did with Aaron because Aaron knew him really well. They were friends, and one day Aaron was like, "Screw it, let's just say his name."
Have you ever experimented with S&M and power play with Tommy? I know I'm nosy, but I'm just wondering, what does that mean?
That would be sadomasochism, right? And power play, where maybe I'm in control kind of thing,
Oh, like boning stuff? No. I would like to maybe try a little something, but I don't know that I'm into that either. Yadira, I'm telling you guys though. Yes. No, my dad is not that self-aware. I'm telling you right now, an OT8 would never do drugs.
Well, but see, here's the thing. This is, again, the OT8s know everything on the planet and they can move shit with their head. Okay, this is the guy that I did dope with. He went and became an OT8, and I looked at him and he gave me the look like, I'm not moving anything.
Master and servant play? No, I would not be into that.
No, don't look at me. Tell you looking at me for.
I mean, I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't
Kelly,
think so.
Aleister Crowley is the cult leader who thought LRH was weird. Look him up, and it will give you an idea how crazy he was. Mussolini kicked Crowley out of Italy.
Sorry, guys. I'm still tired from Rock City.
And I'll tell you something, Kelly. What Crowley said was LRH was an idiot.
Oh, I could never be in charge sexually now. I'm not into that.
I'm not around here. Sorry.
I don't like, I'm more passive, weirdly enough. I'm really passive when it comes to that. I would much rather be told what to do. Okay, Raymond. Yeah, that's fine. You can send me one. He sends me stuff all the time. So, hey, Jen B. Thank you, Raymond. I am shocked to hear that story. Rock City is really cool, but it wore me out. Yeah, I've never seen a Scientologist do more than smoke cigarettes. Like, that's unheard of. I'm blown away by that. I'm serious.
What, you mean you've never seen him drink? Or
no.
Anything like that? Do you have any idea how many Scientologists I've drank with?
They don't drink.
All of them. Every single one of them. They do drink. They just don't drink abusively.
Yeah, they don't do it to excess.
No, they don't do it to excess. But I told you the party I went to. And my ex-wife came up and went, "Nobody here is drinking." And I go, "Everybody here is friggin' drinking. There's a drink in everybody's hand." She's like, "It's their first drink. They're not sipping on it." Now, she was an alcoholic, so it really stood out to her.
They don't drink. I'm telling you. Well, look, the people I was surrounded with didn't drink.
My OT8 friend puked in his car after we left the House of Blues. And his other friend, who was an OT,
do you know why?
Because he was with me.
He talks about it in here. Like, you can't go in session. You can't go on study. If I take an Advil, I can't go in session for 7 days. You have to wait 7 days if you take an Advil. And I know that.
So how long do you have to wait if you take tar heroin? Because this guy did.
They can't. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy to me because alcohol restimulates engrams. He talks about that at length.
La Pabelle. That's exactly where they're drinking. You damn right.
Listen.
Scumbag, but sorry.
Alcohol is supposed to majorly stir up engrams. So a lot of the Scientologists I ever knew did not drink because even one beer is supposed to stimulate an engram.
Maybe that's why his wife would get so pissed, but he drank every single time I
was in town. That's crazy.
Every time I came to town.
And I have never heard of that.
And I told the story long before we ever talked about this. I've told it on the boat 100 times.
I can't believe the guy did cocaine.
And she found the drugs in the car. Like, I told this story. He did blow with me. And he smoked weed with me. He did a bunch of stuff. And then when he came to visit the state I was in, I put him up at the hotel, right? And I wasn't even up there being a bad influence. Like, I'm like, "Here, you guys can stay in the hotel." I was just staying at the bottom of the hill at my house.
LRH didn't drink that I'm aware of.
And he called me and said, "Hey, can you get me stuff?"
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I know once a year the staff would have a beer and cheese party, and they wouldn't even bring beer. They would bring that non-alcoholic apple cider stuff.
LRH drank like a fish.
No, he didn't.
Bet me.
Where?
On the Apollo,
When?
everywhere, all the time. He was a drinker, and he did tons of drugs. Look at the number of books the cat wrote, right? Figure out how many pages he would have had to write per day to write all of those books, and you will realize that cat didn't spend a lot of time asleep.
He was a drinker?
And a meth head. Now, he wouldn't have called it meth. They would have called them cross tops, right? But they were just speed pills or Dexies, right? Dextromethamphetamine in a pill. Dexies were huge then. But
How
yeah,
do you guys
he
know
did
this?
it.
Everybody's saying he was an addict and all
Because
this.
we can research it. I'll take you through the deep dive tonight. I did a show on this. Everybody's watched me do it on the lifeboat. His son was interviewed. All kinds of people that the guy did drugs. He was into it. He was buying them in Mexico. Huge loads of them. Is what it is.
You know, like deeply upsetting that is for me. You guys are laughing, but I've lived my life on this.
Shelley said LRH never slept. I'm sorry that I really am. But
I feel guilty when I take an Advil still because I know how wrong that was growing up.
But you've got to get over that, because you can't allow the doctrine of the bullshit to crawl into your life. I understand that you were raised in it, right? But I was a criminal. I can't do what I continue to do and expect to have a decent life. You need to stop bringing any of that stuff in, because the guy was a loser and a con man and a hustler. None of this.
I had to do my Scientology drug rundown when I was 13, 14, somewhere in there. Do you know what I had to run out? You know what drugs I had to run out? Cough drops. I had to go in session all day long and run out cough drops on the cans because it was so wrong to take cough drops. Do you know how much that upsets me that you're telling me this guy was a drinker and a drug addict, and I had to spend
You do know that he smoked cigarettes,
80 hours being run out on the cans on that?
Mentholated cigarettes.
I know he smoked Cools.
Okay.
Smoking was fine. I smoked.
But they're not fine. They're bad for you, right? If he was,
they're not hypnotic according to him. They don't stimulate engrams. Cigarettes don't do that.
Cigarettes don't what?
They don't stimulate engrams. They're not hypnotic.
They double your the endorphins in your body on the first drag. It's dopamine times 2. So it absolutely affects, but he didn't realize that, so he just, BS'd it. I'm sorry, but it really is. It's the guy was a con man. Zal Storm says Mormons aren't supposed to do a lot of things that some of them still do. I went to school with them. Tell you what, I lived in Utah, in Salt Lake City, Utah. And you know what? One of the most popular jokes in the city is, do you know why you always take 2 Mormons fishing with you? Because if you bring one, he'll smoke all your dope and drink all your beer. But if you bring 2, both of them will pretend to be super pious, not curse, not drink, and you can just get high and do your
Absolutely, cheeky brat. When I left the church, when I blew staff, I started doing meth for 2 years. Yeah. I've done 5 purists because of that.
I'm sorry, but that's the truth. I mean, this is a bullshit concept that he stole from other people. Now, we do have past memories. They're stored in a place called the striatum, right? And they do affect us going forward in life. But the engram concept is absolute feces.
Tommy is a size 14 ring. That's a first time for me. Very impressive. These things are enormous.
I have really big paws. Come here. What are you doing?
Oh, I know, Shelley. I'm not upset with anybody. I just feel very conned right now. I feel very lied to. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, and I have done meth, is that why he wrote so many books?
Yeah. Yeah, you could not do
How was he doing meth? Was he snorting it or snorting?
No. You could take meth and press it in a pill, right? And they were super popular back in the day, especially in Mexico, because you could go buy these things that, if you're old of a certain age, you probably remember cross tops. They would come in a bottle of 1,000, and it was a pill that had a cross on it, right? And You could break it into fourths if you wanted, but all it was amphetamine in a pill. Same as Adderall, same
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do feel I was lied to my entire life. You know, I never saw that movie, The Truman Show, but I'm suddenly feeling like that. Isn't that what that movie's about?
What the Truman Show is about is more about this. If you want to know the truth, we're living the Truman Show. It's
Okay.
it's actually a funny show. Yeah, Reese, don't feel bad. LRH was a nutter running on booze, drugs, and lies. That's right. White Cross. That's exactly right. There were white crosses. So all it really was either amphetamine, dextroamphetamine, or benzedrine. And more than likely, LRH was probably doing benzedrine because that was the really popular cross top of the day. It was still an amphetamine. It was just a slightly different one.
Do you know how upsetting that is, though?
But you were born into it. You didn't make a decision like you're done.
I know, but I'm just like thinking of all the things. Like
I can imagine.
I remember getting in so much trouble because I was starting my period and I was dying and I had to go in session and I took an Advil. And I got in so much trouble because I couldn't go in session for a week because that triggers engrams and does something to the mind. And are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, all the hours I run cough drops out, I had to do 5 purifs. 5 purifs at $5,000 a piece.
Giggity. That's a lot of money. The 6th would have been the magic number too if you had just done 6. No, you know, here's the thing. You got again, I said this last night on my channel, and I say it kind of tongue in cheek, but I'm not really joking, right? And what I say is, I don't have a problem with people that want to join cults.
What are you upset about?
Right? You have the opportunity to join a cult. You can do whatever you want. I just don't think they should be able to breed. Right?
I'm just.
What's the purif? Could you explain purif to Cheeky?
A purif is something that you do. Oh man, she just snagged this.
Kid did?
Yep. Look, it's all snagged.
Well, we're gonna have to get another one because I love it. So
I'm probably not going to be able to wear it again. It's pretty noticeable. A purif is something that you do. It's at the bottom of the bridge, the grade chart. It's one of the first basic auditing actions in Scientology, and it's a detox program. So you're detoxing every single, not just drug, over the counter, anything, sunburns. You're detoxing out sunburns, any kind of radiation.
Melissa, good comment.
This is another veil that has been lifted. Something to talk to Wyatt or other former believers with. You have had an earth-shaking realization. Yeah, I have.
And you know, here's the thing. We've tried to do this before, you and me. I'm glad that we did it here on the show because, with all due respect, I know it's painful, right? Because this was your life, and anyone who thinks you just go, oh, thank God that's over, right? It's just not how it is. When you spent 36 years of your life living that, it's your default setting. You think in Scientology. How could you not?
I think in Scientology way more than I think I realize.
Absolutely, you do. It doesn't bother me. I know it's different, right? But I know that it's different, and we communicate a little differently because of it.
I was just going to say, the purif, you sit in a sauna for 5 hours a day. You can never miss a day. You are not allowed to miss a day, period. You can't miss an hour. And it has to be the same 5 hours every single day. And you have to run for 30 minutes before you get in the sauna. And you have to take a ton
niacin.
Of vitamins in general. Yeah. You have to drink oil. You have to drink oil. You have to take lecithin. You chew that up. And then you work up to 4,500 milligrams, maybe 6,000. I can't remember, of niacin. And so taking niacin, you flush really bad. So when you get there, you take your niacin, then you go run, and then your skin turns bright red and you start getting all prickly and hot and dizzy, and you go sit in a sauna for 5 hours. And the idea is to sweat out anything you've ever taken, except he says LSD and angel dust, I think, are the two things that you can't get out. That makes you out qualified for the Sea Org because it stays in the spine forever, according to LRH.
Well, the OT8 did acid too. Straight up. I did acid with him. Yeah. He wasn't an OT8 when he did it, but he did a grip of acid. Like he was a fan.
Was he a Scientologist?
He was a Scientologist at that point. Yeah. The day I met him, he was a Scientologist.
This is really upsetting to me.
I'm sorry, but yes, absolutely. I'm sure. The day I met him, he was a Scientologist. He had already done exactly what you're describing. He was a heroin addict who got clean through Scientology and then started working his way through the stuff. And I met him through bullshit scams, which he was running. We were both doing bullshit money scams. They're not. I promise you, they were not. I'm
having a hard time accepting that. That's insane to me. I've never seen a Scientologist do that.
Ask Aaron. Aaron knew him too. Well.
So you get up to, I think, 6,000 is the number of milligrams of niacin. Children do the Purif, guys. I did my first Purif at 12. I remember Dan O'Connor's kids doing the Purif when they were 5.
Lovely.
Kids,
what dope did they do that they had to get clean from?
Yeah, you have to do one. You have to do the Purif.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's the starting point on the bridge. So you clean out drugs a lot of places on the bridge. Thank you, Dangerous Journeyman. I'll hide it with a belt. I'll belt it. It's just too bad. It's my fault. But and then you do Purifs. Like I had a child. So they made me do a Purif again because I had a spinal block because I had a C-section.
How dare you?
So you had to go do it. You had to go run out the drugs from that.
And while they're telling you that, this cat's smoking two packs of cool menthols a day and chewing Benzedrine up like it was good and plenty.
It is a lot of niacin. So here's the thing. The last thing I want to say about the Purif. Guys, it's no small task. You do it until you're done. Well, guess how long a Purif usually takes? Between 1 to 3 months. It's usually about 50 to 90 days. 50 to 90 days every single day. I don't care if it's Christmas. I don't care if it's Thanksgiving. I don't care if you've had a death in the family. You are not allowed to miss a day.
Well, you're going to have another death in the family. And if you guys want to look it up, look up what happened to Narcanon in Oklahoma, because that's exactly what happened. They had some problems. Some people didn't do too well with it. And
I did my last Purif not that long ago, and it was a nightmare. I mean, guys, I've done 5. And I can recall the last 2 at least. I remember sitting in that sauna and I was like, I thought I was going to pass out. I remember being like, this is too much, like with the niacin dosage.
Yeah. You get hot flashes from that stuff. So bad, man. I did niacin, tons of it once.
Hell Hath No Fury did the reason for the Purif was to shame you for getting the spinal. I mean, it's a
great question.
I don't know if I guess if you want to look at it as shaming, I didn't. I looked at it as you took a drug, so now you need another Purif. If you have a surgery, you need another Purif. You were given a drug. Drugs are handled on the whole track on the bridge a lot. So you do a Purif, that's the first thing. Then you do an auditing action called your Scientology drug rundown. Then right before you go clear, you do the NED drug rundown, which is New Era Dianetics. There's a lot of handling drugs on the bridge because LRH says there's a ton of drugs on the whole track. So you have to audit those drugs out. And I'm really upset. That's why I'm so upset right now to know there's an OT8 doing blow and L. Ron Hubbard did meth.
And I can't even, I'll tell you the whole story when we shut this down because I know this guy so well. You have no idea. Like I really know this dude.
The Purif is $5,000. That's how much it costs.
Well, and apparently he had to go so his wife wrote a, what do they call those things? She wrote a report on him.
A KR?
Yeah, KR. That's what it was. KR. She wrote a report on him.
Hey, Joe Virus.
Because of me.
Hi, Matt. Oh, my God. She's with Matt right now.
Katie Fulton, good to see you.
Say hi to Matt.
Hey, Matt. How are you?
Matt,
you're girl's rack smells fantastic.
I couldn't
Probably
just
wondering how I
feel
know
more upset than I do because of that. I've done 5 purists, and you're telling me
Well,
this
he
guy
had to
did.
do one because of the night she turned him in, and he had to go through that whole thing. He was so angry at me. In fact, he called me and said, you and I can't work together anymore. And I'm not trying to brag or anything else, because what we were doing was not a good thing, but I made this dude unbelievable money. So for him to, I mean, we had a great hustle.
5,000 is nothing compared to the bridge, Shelly. 5,000, that's a small. I mean, if you go like get your clear package, you're looking at 50 grand just to get your auditing on that.
He told me he had
that's
850K into the last time I saw him in person.
What's going on?
What? Oh, I don't know where that came from. Oh, maybe from this. The last time I saw him in person.
Oh, yeah. It costs over $1 million typically to go all the way up the bridge.
Yeah, he had 850.
And that's just to do your bridge. You have to do your training, and you also have to donate to the International Association of Scientologists. So like my dad, for instance, has probably donated a total of 10 million to Scientology over his time. You have to donate for Ideal Orgs to open. You got to donate to the Way to Happiness Foundation, the IAS, which is the International Association of Scientologists, plus pay for your bridge, plus pay for your kids and your wife's bridge. Guys, it's insane. So $5,000 to do a purif is really nothing compared to.
Although $5,000 every time Tommy comes out to visit you on the West Coast is probably a problem. And I'm sure that you thought I was Satan, but the truth of the matter was, every time I went there, he'd be like, "Hey, you want to go party?" Like I wasn't rolling into town and being a bad influence. I mean, yeah, I was.
But. So I mean, we may be grifters, but we're not L. Ron Hubbard grifters. Damn, that's all I'm trying to say.
We work on it. Or?
We are working toward it.
Yes, we are. See that.
Yeah. You know how L. Ron Hubbard said, if you want to make money, start a religion. If you want to make money, start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's our
Who has that kind of cash? Every person I knew was in serious debt, credit card debt in Scientology.
Well, yeah. So this has come out in in investigations and shit, but they were running credit card scams. They had it to a science.
All the time.
They had it to a science.
I had just had Huxley. I mean, I think he was like 9 months old. Liz came over to my house to reg me, which is get money from me. And she said, I need 5,000 today to go toward the Ideal Org. This wasn't even for my bridge. It was to put our name on a brick to go to the Ideal Org once it was built.
Nice.
And I said, I don't have $5,000. I don't have $1,000. And she goes, I already have phone numbers to put credit cards in your name. She's like, I'm going to help you right now get some credit cards. And I was like, you are out of your mind. No. Yeah, it's all on credit.
Yeah. Yeah, they were really they got very, very good at doing balance shifts and all kinds of stuff. These guys would
I agree, Cricket.
I would hire ex-Scientologists to work my phone rooms, and they would tell me horror stories. The guy would be like, I call people on Christmas Day.
Of course.
Yeah, Christmas Day. He said you'd call him on the phone and, hey, have you put money aside for your 2-year-old? Right, we need to take care of that today. He said you could call it anytime. Like, we have all kinds of rules as a
dad
salesperson.
My dad owns a construction company. Thank you, Yvonne. And he started that company. Yeah, we got to go. You got to get on the lifeboat. Right. My dad started a construction company when he was very young, and he still has it to this day. So he made a lot of money doing that. As far as I know, he was never in deep credit card debt. My dad just made pretty good money. Now, to this day, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Most Scientologists are deeply in credit card debt.
They are.
Deeply.
Yeah.
Deeply. Hundreds of thousands. There's a dentist in Kansas City who I loved. Tom, I won't say his last name. He is over $1 million in credit card debt. And everybody in Kansas City says he's got the highest amount. And they're all like, we just can't, we just love him. We can't believe, how much he's done for us and how good it is. He's well over $1 million in credit card debt. He'll never get out of that.
Stephanie says white crosses, black beauties. Yeah.
And I don't know much about this because I didn't go into deep credit card debt myself. Was my dad in waste disposal? Maybe. I don't know. But I know something else that they did all the time because they did it for my father-in-law, Doug Arges. They constantly would switch the credit cards and to a new one with a new balance.
Right. Balance shifting.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, balance shifting.
They did it all the time. They would shift it to a new balance that had like zero.
Yeah. Introductory rate.
Yeah.
And then you take all your
the time.
So
they did it all the time.
This is going to sound awful, but you know what? This will be on Reddit tomorrow and we'll give the idiots more stuff to talk about. But we ran phone rooms. I've been open about this in the past, right? I've been super open about this in the past, but I ran boiler rooms. My job was to steal as much money from people as I could. I justified it because you could make money in the business opportunity and in my head, blah, 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 right? Because you got to justify it in your head or you can't keep doing it every day, man, right? But yeah, we would teach people while we're selling them stuff. We'd say to them, what's the interest rate on that card? 15%. Oh, that's awful, right? You don't want to do that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to teach you to do a balance shift. You understand this concept? And we would walk them right through the process of, clearing up 4 really shitty high interest credit cards and transferring all of them over to a card so that freed up more money that I could take from them.
Sounds like the Wolf of Wall Street.
For all intents and purposes, it's exactly what it is. It's just a different hustle, but same pitch.
I don't know how that affects credit scores because I never went into that much. My most credit card debt that I got into was like $12,000. And when I sold my house, I paid it off. Yeah. Reese, have you paid off your credit card debt now? I hope. No, that's funny, Shelly. No, I paid my credit card debt off years ago when I sold my house. I owned a house. And it was just me. I was the sole owner and I made pretty good money off of it. So I paid off my credit card. First thing I did, I paid off my credit card, my car,
good.
Everything. And then I put the down payment for the house that my ex-husband and I bought with that money. Hey, Arwa.
Sorry.
That I never got back.
Not yet. The answer is, how does it affect your credit score? It doesn't. Right? True story. You can run up $200,000 in credit card debt. And if you make the minimum monthly payments, it doesn't hurt your credit. Right? It's only when you are late with those minimum monthly payments. But people who are doing this, the people that do those kind of shifts and everything else, I had a friend, I'm not joking in any way, shape, or form. He had a stack of credit cards from the floor to here. And he was doing it constantly. He probably had 150 cards and was always going in and out. And he would have, what do you call those things? They stick the note stuff on it. Those little sticky things. He'd have them written, stuck to the outside of every card saying how much the balance was when it was used. Sticky notes. He'd have sticky notes on the front of every one of the credit cards saying what day he activated it, how much it's used. Pretty crazy stuff.
My ex-husband had credit cards, insane amounts. If elderly Scientologists have credit card debt, is that one reason they don't want them to leave? Because Scientology could be sued?
They do put those people out to pasture. So makes you wonder.
That I don't know the answer to. They do have credit card debt, though. I know that for a fact. Yeah, balance transfers to an intro offer for no interest. Yes, my ex did that a lot too.
Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. Balance for the introductory 0%, right? Cards will give you 0% for the first 12 months. So take every card you got, put it on there, and now you've got an interest-free loan. That's
my ex-husband did that a lot too.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that I didn't get myself into major credit card debt in Scientology. I didn't. And I'm so thankful that I don't have credit card debt now.
No, neither do I.
Yeah.
Not much. I mean, I owe a couple of grand. I don't know enough to get bummed out about though.
I think you need to hop over to the boat.
I do. The boat's going to be live within the next 10 minutes, people. So we would really love to.
Will you guys make sure you're subscribed over here? But more importantly tonight, check my channel, Relatable Reese, if you want to be subscribed.
Never heard of it.
I am about to drop below 21,000, which is kind of sad. I made it to 21,000 and maybe it is Reddit. I mean, Maybe they succeeded,
No.
but I'm about to drop below that. So if you would check Relatable Reese to see if you're subscribed, that would be really nice of you. I mean, either way, I'm probably going to drop below it. It is what it is. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to us tonight. We were kind of all over the place. But
No. You were.
That's enough.
I was laser
Love you,
focused.
Shelly. I love you guys. And thank you for being here. Again, I just think you guys are great. And for those of you that come and chat and hang with us, I just really appreciate you. So thank you. All right. Hop over to the lifeboat.
Hold on one second. Could you scroll down just real quickly? Because there was something that was drugs related and it. Oh, crap. Oh, no, there it is. Miradira, just real quickly, because this comes up all the time. So everybody pay attention real quick. A Ponzi scheme, the product is cash. So the difference between when someone goes, it's just a Ponzi scheme. The Ponzi scheme, you're using the cash that the person brings in to pay the next person. You understand? You pretend that there's an investment paying off. So you bring me $100,000 and I say, yeah, it makes you 15% a year on the money. Now, big penalties if you withdraw early, but I guarantee it will get you $15,000 a year. And what I'm doing is the next person who walks through the door and gives me $100,000, well, I'm taking his $15,000 to pay off the other people who are asking now for their their money. You understand?
Thank you, Jason P. Bye, GeoPlanet Jane.
So it's not technically a Ponzi scheme. They deliver a product, right? The product may be BS, but they deliver a product, and the product is auditing and all of that stuff, the courses. So it's not a Ponzi scheme. It sounds like it, but it's not.
Okay.
There we go.
On that note, I'm being grifted.
Nice. That's
cute.
The spirit.
I love you, Kristen Melinda.
I do too.
Thank you for your super chat, guys.
Now, if you haven't been grifted enough, please stop by the lifeboat. I'll grift you some more. What do you think?
You can go over to Reese too. Honestly, I just want you to subscribe. If you want to be subscribed. Otherwise, I get it. All right, guys. Love you. I'm going to end the stream. Hop over to the lifeboat. Thank you again for tonight. We needed that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.